Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Company Heroes 2 replay. Today is on Semoskiy Winter. It is a 2 vs 2, and on our left side here we have two U.S. forces, Iron Emperor and Aerohank. And on the right side we have the Wehrmacht Rogers and OKW Siberian. And Semoskiy Winter is a little bit different from the summertime map. One aspect is that you can walk across the river, so you really can't like hold people here with a Kubel wagon or something like that. You can't do something cheap like that on this map, so you can just walk right over. And the fuel is normally down here and up here on this map in the summertime, making it a little bit easier for each side to get their own and hold their own fuel. But first and foremost, we have the rear echelon squad moving over to the territory point, and Pioneers moving into the center. Also, Stern Pioneers moving up to the north side.
Steady up, fellas.
And Iron Emperor is immediately building some tank traps right in the center here. A little bit for cover. You can actually get behind the tank traps, and they provide really good cover because they are steel tank traps. And then he's putting barbed wire directly in front of these so that the enemy can't use this against him and actually stand on this side. To get the cover, you can only stand on this side because the barbed wire is in the way. Pioneers moving down to the fuel point in the bottom. And Volksgrenadiers also moving down, perhaps taking this territory point. Nope, getting in the house for a little bit of cover. But there's nothing down here for them to really fight right now. So the Wehrmacht, or rather the Axis, is getting fuel points. And so the U.S. forces will have much less fuel than the Axis German side because of that. But that could change pretty soon. Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper turning into a battle group headquarters right behind this building. Pretty good spot for it. I usually put it a little bit closer, and that way it's a little bit harder to hit with mortars and things like that. Riflemen engaging these Pioneers, but if they get too close, they're going to start getting shot by these Volksgrenadiers here. They're going to have to move back. And the rear echelon troops still working on putting barbed wire in front of all this cover here, and that way the enemy can't use it against them.
Steady up.
Two squads of riflemen moving towards these Volksgrenadiers, and they're making sandbags. I'm going to have to cancel that sandbag process and move on out of there. Now Stern Pioneers moving on to U.S. force territory here. Going to take this territory point, but at the same time, these rear echelon troops might be moving over to the northern territory point. We have a lot of Wehrmacht down here underneath the U.S. forces. It could easily run up this way, get a real good flank on all these troops. Volksgrenadiers and riflemen battling it out, but way too many riflemen for the Volksgrenadiers to handle, so we're going to have to retreat out of there. Still busy making barbed wire across all of the opposite side of the cover, making it very difficult for his enemy to find cover. And these Pioneers are in big trouble. A little bit of a hang up there. An MG42 coming out for the Wehrmacht. And he does have a sniper as well, and the sniper is moving up. And hopefully they can get a lot of kills on this sniper. If you can get a lot of kills on a sniper, then it's well worth it. But if you get killed right away, they're very expensive, so it's a big loss. Riflemen and Stern Pioneers battling it out. The Riflemen have better cover, and they have a medium distance in between them, so the Stern Pioneers aren't going to do nearly as good. But now they're just going to run right towards these rear echelon troops. Might lose a couple rear echelon troops. Negative cover now. And Stern Pioneers do a great amount of damage. So, but makes it out with just one. Didn't retreat it. Grenadiers and Riflemen battling out, but this is a 2-star Rifleman squad already, which is pretty good for this early in the game. And the sniper's way in the back here, trying to stick to this cover so he has camouflage the whole time. But he does lose the camouflage every time he fires, so he's going to stay on his toes there. And taking out another Rifleman, making it a total of 6 kills for the sniper. So far, so good for that sniper. 2 Volksgrenadiers up here, going to battle it out with these Riflemen, but they are trying to retreat. Might lose one in this negative cover here, but lucked out there. Riflemen flanking these Volksgrenadiers, and these Riflemen here have pretty good cover, so they weren't really going to take any damage anyway.
Orders! Sniper reporting.
Sniper trying to get through some deep snow here. And the 2-star rifleman squad already in the game. See, no other squad really has any kind of veterancy, so that's actually really, really good. He has two veterancy stars already. Folks Grenadiers inside of the church, battling it out with riflemen. These riflemen have no cover, so definitely lose this out. But the U.S. forces have their own riflemen in a house across the street here, battling it out with a separate group of Volksgrenadiers. So quite a bit of individual fights going on. You have an MG42 hidden behind these sandbags. And these riflemen move just out of the way of the range of that machine gun there. Raketenwerfer trying to back out of there. He's getting shot at by riflemen, but now these riflemen also backing out at the same time. Just way too much firepower on those. But again, we have a 1-star veterancy rifleman. So the U.S. force is definitely having a lot more veterancy than the Germans so far. Pioneers moving up on these riflemen, but the Pioneers need to be in cover, so they need to stop so they can get that cover. And there's a grenade right there and loses almost all of them. And able to get away with just one, but he got the flamethrower just as he was running away too, so I'm sure he wanted that 5 seconds earlier. Now these Grenadiers going to have to move out of here. Way too much firepower. Echelons and 2 rifleman squads firing at these guys. The Schwere Wehrmacht Schlepper moving up real close here. Might turn this into a battle group headquarters. But now it's on the ice. Not a very good place for it. But there's really nothing that's going to sink it right now. If anti-tank actually hits something on the ice, sometimes there's a chance that the ice will break out from under it and it'll sink. Riflemen taking the southern munitions point. Down anybody contesting them down there. And this Raketenwerfer, I think, is a little bit early, as there's really nothing for it to fire at the moment. But I suppose better safe than sorry. But I think the money could have gone to something a little better for now. And the sniper's still out here, has 1 veterancy star and 12 kill count so far. And looks like the sniper will fire one more time here. Get another rifleman. Total of 13 kills. Riflemen in this building here are going to get shot at by this sniper. And the sniper doesn't get a 1-shot kill every time if they're in a building like that, but still pretty high chance. 2 rifleman squads running up this way. Might be taking the fuel point here, as they do have the southern fuel point, so if they can take that second fuel point, they'll have a big advantage, and the longer they hold that, the more fuel they will accumulate. Because you definitely want to deny Germans, if anything, fuel. And these stormtroopers here, out in the open, and they need to get back behind this wagon here. The problem with that is moving out of that, now it's back to neutral, and not going to be taken in German hands. Riflemen up here being a little bit pesky and causing him to sit around on the ice. A pretty odd position he's got going here on the ice, but it doesn't really matter, I suppose, as long as you got cover. And these riflemen against these stormtroopers, and I don't think they're going to win that fight. The stormtroopers have much better cover inside that. And neither side took the victory point, so still neutral. Both Grenadiers moving up on this, but there's way too much up here. Rear echelon squads and a rifleman squad. And I hear something moving along. An M21 mortar half-track is out on the field. And we do have a captain, too, for the U.S. forces with its bazooka squad. 2 bazookas for the captain. So any vehicles that the Germans bring out are going to get hit by a bazooka. And the lieutenant now battling out with these stormtroopers, but they have the BAR on that lieutenant, so it's very good at a short range. Stormtroopers now inside of this house here, seeking pretty good cover. But there's 2 squads of riflemen and another squad of riflemen in the church, all laying down fire, so I don't think they're going to last too long in there, and this building looks like it's going to collapse very soon. A few more good bazooka shots and that will go down. And if the troops are inside of the building when it is destroyed, the troops are lost. Now the Germans taking the top side back, taking the fuel back, and a territory point. Might start moving up that way too. It would be in their best interest to start taking this quickly as possible because they only have 1 victory point at the moment. And the score so far, 495 for the U.S. forces, 350 for the Germans. Volksgrenadiers with Panzerschreck and Grenadiers battling out with 2 rifleman squads. Looks like they have BARs right now. Actually, they have the, I can't actually remember what it's called offhand. They have the M1918. Got a little mind fart there. 2 rifleman squad and a lieutenant squad pushing all this stuff off the ice here. And this Raketenwerfer is really, really vulnerable. It's got to get out of there. There's really nothing for it to fire at right now, except for the M20. There is an M20 scout car out now, and there is also a half-track, but it's just not in the right place to be able to fire at it. The battle group actually it's a mechanized headquarters. Sit in the back. It would be nice if it was the battle group headquarters so they could be healing and reinforcing right there. And he tried to get it here at the early part of the game, but it was just destroyed. Stormtroopers and Volksgrenadiers firing at these riflemen. Those guys got to get out of there. Not going to be able to handle all that. And Germany's going to start taking this area back. Now, U.S. forces moving up this way with a vengeance here. 4 rifleman squads and the captain all moving up in this way. Definitely really wants that fuel. Jaeger light infantry battling out with some riflemen here. And either side's got cover, but this cover is directional in this game, so standing right there does not provide you any cover against shots coming from this way. Almost taking out that Jaeger light infantry. Now the Wehrmacht has brought out a Pak-40, but still not really a lot to use it against. I mean, there is this mortar half-track, but this mortar half-track isn't going to be anywhere near this Pak-40. New schwere Wehrmacht Schlepper moving on up. Might be making the headquarters now. It would be a wise decision to have one here, or a little bit more behind, so it's a little tougher to hit. Now starting to make the battle group headquarters now, so he can heal and reinforce from this location. And it is vulnerable while it's being created, but once it's actually created and sandbagged down, it's pretty hard to destroy without any kind of anti-tank or mortars. Volksgrenadiers desperately trying to make some sandbags here, but I don't think they're going to make it. They're getting shot at, and the firing has stopped. And they just barely got away from that mortar strike. And the Raketenwerfer is set up now, but it's just out of range of this M21 mortar half-track. And even if it did fire, I don't think it would destroy it in one hit, and he would have time to react and pull that back. MG42 in the middle of the ice, a weird spot for it, but as long as you got sandbags, I suppose you're golden. And the sniper still for the Wehrmacht at 25 and 2 veteran C. So having one sniper in the game and getting all these kills costs your opponent a lot. So maybe every kill on a rifleman, you're going to have to replace that. So anywhere from 20 to 30 manpower to replace individual infantry that are killed by a sniper really adds up over time. And raining down mortars. Hitting here, but really nothing there at the moment. Fight for the bottom sector. This munitions is neutral, and the victory point down here is in German hands. And these riflemen getting burned up pretty bad. Gonna have to retreat out of there. But here comes a lieutenant with their BAR. Might be able to force these out of here, but these Panzer Grenadiers have pretty good short-range potential and Stern Pioneers, so I think they're going to destroy this lieutenant here. A grenade goes off, but definitely doesn't kill as much as the U.S. forces wanted it to, and that lieutenant is definitely out of there, but he might not make it out of here. It would be a pretty big loss to lose that. Have to sit there and replace that. And he does lose that lieutenant. And rear echelon squad coming to assist, but not going to be able to do anything that close. He runs a little too close into all that submachine gun fire. Battle group headquarters starting to take damage, getting nailed by this mortar here, getting hit directly. And there was also a M8A1 howitzer motor carriage here as well. It could also be firing at this. Bringing the Pak-40 and the Raketenwerfer up, but still really nothing for it to fire at. Got the 57mm anti-tank gun firing at this battle group headquarters, so it's going to go down very quickly, getting hit by mortars and anti-tank. And it looks like the howitzer carriage is moving up, but it was firing at troops here. Jaeger light infantry moving forward. Pretty good long-range troops, but there's a lot of firepower going on here. 3 riflemen squads. And now pushing up. Now the MG42 is just in range of these riflemen. Going to start pinning them. And one more hit on this battle group headquarters. Going to go down. So if you could get some Pioneers up here to repair that immediately, but a little bit too late. Grenadier is going to be pinned pretty soon if they don't start crawling out of there. But he does bring up the howitzer motor carriage. Firing at this sniper here. Just missing him. 30 kills so far on that sniper, so MVP sniper of the day. Captain in the center, trying to guard the center victory point against these Panzer Grenadiers. And the Panzer Grenadiers aren't very good at long range, so not much of a threat there. The top section of the map belongs almost entirely to the U.S. forces, and the Germans working on the bottom section here. Flak Panzer, Ostwind, chasing away some troops down there, not really able to handle that as it suppresses and kills troops pretty quickly. MG42 setting up here, but if this this howitzer motor carriage gets a good shot, and it does, taking out 2 right off the bat. And there are 2 motor carriages out for Iron Emperor, so he's got a lot of barrage fire. Riflemen against these Jaeger light infantry, except there is a sniper too, and getting out of there. Now the sniper up to 34 kills. Incoming Sherman, moving forward at this machine gun here. Could get hit by a Panzerfaust from these Grenadiers, but decides to retreat them instead, as he only has 47 munitions, so really doesn't have a lot to waste at this point. And if you're not going to actually destroy the tank with the Panzerfaust by taking out the engine and then taking it out with something else, it's really not worth just using it, as you can just easily repair the Sherman right after, and it just costs you munitions. Sniper down here taking the territory point, and the Flak Panzer is still a little messed up, getting repaired by these Stern Pioneers though. But here comes 2 motor carriages moving down, and 2 riflemen moving out, starting to get hit by that Ostwind. Going to start suppressing them pretty quickly, and may lose this rifleman here really, really low. 2 motor carriages, does lose that rifleman, and 2 motor carriages firing at this section. Going to hit these engineers that are repairing it too, so that's a major problem. Took out the weapon system of the Ostwind, so the main weapon is out, so it cannot fire now. Moving up the Rakettenwerfer is going to try and hit these. Man, gets hit by the missile. Right in the side armor, takes about half of its health. If he gets hit in the front armor, it might not destroy him, but if he gets hit again in the side, probably going to lose that. Loses the Rakettenwerfer squad to this rifleman and to barrages. Chasing away some Volksgrenadiers up here. Don't want them taking that fuel point. The U.S. forces dominating the fuel points this game, making it very hard for the Germans to make a lot of armor, as their armor typically costs a lot of fuel. And I'm surprised this Ostwind is still here. I think he should just start backing it up towards the base so he can repair it. And here comes the Jackson tank destroyer, gonna one-shot this Ostwind. And loses the Ostwind. Not very good. Gets shot directly in the frontal armor by the Rakettenwerfer. Takes a little damage, but not too big of a deal.
Gather round. I smell orders.
Rifleman here, guarding the center, and at the moment, the U.S. forces have both victory points up top, and the Germans have the center, lower one. And this Pack 40 in trouble. Gonna want to back out of there. Grenade landing on the ground. Might take out one of the troops. There he goes. But these 2 might be able to get it out of there. Sniper coming up. Might get another kill here. And the U.S. forces took the Rakettenwerfer. And the Germans have surrendered, leaving the U.S. forces the victors. And the U.S. forces, they took both of the fuel points and held them most of the game, which just gave them a big advantage in terms of getting armor. They had 2 motor carriages, the Jackson tank destroyer, and with that, and took all the anti-tank from the Germans. And the Germans just simply didn't have the fuel to make a sufficient amount of armor. So that led to their defeat. But I hope you guys enjoyed this content, and I will see you guys next time.